Hi guys, it's Kai and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a wig styling tutorial on this hair right here. I have been getting so many requests for a style just like this. It's what I like to call just straight hair with like volume and lift at the top, as popularized by Aquaria and Miz Cracker on this season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So many of you guys have been sending me their pictures asking me to do a video about this kind of hair. So here it is. Even though, to be completely honest, straight hair is not really my fantasy. Like, I totally prefer curly hair. There is just not a straight bone in my body. So I'm doing this video for y'all, so I hope you enjoy it. But without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. If you watched my videos before, I've shown you how to straighten synthetic hair with a steamer and just a brush. So the first step should just be taking any wig and making it bone straight, and then later on we'll add the back combing to the top to give it that volume. So the first step is to make the wig straight. And if you already have a straight wig, maybe that's how you bought it, or maybe you straightened it yourself, then you can skip forward to a little bit later in the video. But I'm gonna take a wig that's nowhere near straight. So this is the wig that we're gonna be working on today. As you can see, it looks hideous, but this is the pastel Marie Antoinette wig that I styled on my channel. I had to take her apart and kind of like stuff her in some storage. That's why it looks like this. But I got a few questions asking, can it be reverted back to normal once I did all of that styling in that video? And I'm gonna show you right here and right now that it can be. So I've got my steamer right here beside me ready to go, but before I go in with steam, I am just gonna start sectioning this off. I like to sort of still detangle it just with a brush. Like, the steam really, I think, is essential to straightening it, but there's no way to get around just going at it with a brush and taking your time. For the very, very small knots that your larger brush can't get, I like to switch to a finer toothbrush, and that usually helps. But if there's really something that the brush will refuse to go through, I just pick at it with my fingers. So now that my steamer is kind of heating up and the knots have kind of been detangled, I'm going to take out this wave pattern with the steam. I'm sandwiching the hair in between the steamer and my brush and just going down. And the hair should really get a little bit damp because of this. That's really what's gonna take out the curl pattern and just make it go straight, just like that. While most of the hair is straight, the ends are still a little fried and tangly, so I just have to hit them again with a brush. This brush, by the way, is made for synthetic hair. I don't really know what it's called, maybe like a loop brush. I just went into my local beauty supply store and asked them if they had a brush specifically for synthetic hair. The other wig brush that I have is this one from Donna Love Hair, and the bristles kind of look like that. They're kind of just going straight out. This is so dirty. But this, I don't even know if you can really buy this on its own. It just came with a wig that I got. My recommendation would be go to a store and ask for a synthetic hair brush. So now that we're good with this bottom section, I'm gonna take more hair down and maybe clip this away into like a little done pile. And then I'm just repeating the same process by first doing as much as I can with solely the hairbrush. No matter how many times I brush this, even though now the brush is going through it fine and smoothly, the hair is still all frizzy here, especially at the end. So that's what the steamer is for. So I'll hit it with the steam to kind of dull out all of that frizz. And then taking a break from the steam, I'm gonna brush it out. So I've got a section here of just ratted up, teased hair. And the first thing I'm gonna do is start brushing at it from the bottom. Now, it feels like the brush is going through it, but that's really because the brush is just gliding over the surface of the teasing. To really get into it, I like to sort of dig my brush through and sort of flick outwards, like that. If all you did to your wig was curl it with heat and without backcombing it, then you don't need to have this hard of a time when undoing the style. But if you backcomb, this is how you have to undo it. After you feel like you've done quite a bit of work and you don't really see those little balls of rat's nest anymore, then you can go back in with the steamer. And the steamer will just illuminate everything because there still are some tangles in here, but lots of it is hidden in just the hair that's not really tangled, but just all frizzed up. So I get so many questions. Kind, I don't own a steamer. Why can't I just use a hair straightener for this? It's just not going to work as effectively because a hair straightener is not going to go from this to this. Like, it can go from curly to straight, but it can't really soften out the hair that in the way that a steamer does. This is what I meant. Like, the straightener will kind of tell you where the tangles still are now that most of the frizz is gone. Like, the hair is still not super smooth. And you can't really tell on camera, but I can feel right now that the hair is feeling crunchy because there's so much hairspray in this from when I styled this. Meaning, even once we get it straight and detangle it, it's not going to feel as smooth because there's still product in it that's making it look like greasy and stiff, which tells me I'm probably going to have to wash this hair after I do all of this straightening and detangling. When the hair is pretty difficult to work with like this, like it's so backcombed and frizzy and tangled, it's really just a matter of alternating between a brush and a steamer and a brush and a steamer, and even using them both simultaneously. My steamer is like so old and crappy that it like goes on and off randomly. Not a setting on it at all, it just decides to start turning off. And it like leaks all over my whole floor. It is so shitty. That's usually why it takes me so long to do these, but I'm just gonna continue this process over the whole head and I'll be right back. So I actually went off camera and washed this with clothes detergent and left it overnight, so it's like the next day. It just felt a little bit stiff with hairspray, but now the hair is nice and soft. Don't worry about doing all of the work to straighten and detangle it and then possibly ruining it by washing it, because as you can see, after washing it, it's still nice and straight, and the washing doesn't ruin the straightening process is what I'm saying. So if you already have a straight wig, then this is where the styling process begins. I just wanted to show you all of this work because I wanted to show that I'm never not down for a challenge. So I'm just gonna put my wig back on this little head and we're gonna go ahead and style it. Now, I'm not gonna tease the entire wig because I've tried doing this before and I found that when I did it, the hair was just a little bit too big and it didn't retain that sleekness. So I'm actually only gonna tease maybe this much hair so that it's not too big and too poofy. I'm getting this front piece of hair first. I'm gonna start back combing the back of it. So this way, a couple of like 10-15 centimeters up. And I'm doing a flicking motion with my wrist like that. Just like that. If the hair is not forming this little cloud at the base, try doing a more circular motion with your brush like that, instead of just pushing it straight. You kind of want that fluffiness. Okay, I'm not gonna go all the way down the ear like with these ones because I don't want it to stick too much out that way. Like, I don't want the wig to be like too fat looking almost. I just want the kind of height up here. It's a very delicate balance. It really depends on how big you want your hair to be. If you want your hair really big, you're gonna do this to all of the hair. If you want your hair to be really sleek, you're not gonna tease it all, but we're kind of going for a little in-between state. So this is all of the hair that I've teased on this side. Now I'm gonna do it to the other side of the part. This in my hand is all of the hair that I've teased, and you can see everything else that's been left. So I don't even think I've really teased half of the hair on the head. But we're gonna take this apart now and see what we've got. So I've separated the part, and now this is what we have to smooth out. All right, so starting here at the part, I'm gonna brush away, and then also brush back away from the face. And you'll see, since we have that teasing built in there, that cushion is already there and the hair just stands out and sticks up like that. Now what we have to do is sort of deflate it a little bit because it's still a little bit too big for my liking. And I'm placing my hand here. Now that this top part is straight right by the ear, I'm placing my hand as a little anchor and then just brushing down because some of the teasing and some of the frizziness is gonna work its way down the hair. See? Same thing over here. Start by brushing away from the forehead. Just in little flicking motions like that. And then brushing here away from the part. And then once you have this little base nice and smoothed out, this area right here, anchor it by placing that finger there and then brush out the rest of the hair from here down to the root, or down to the tip. We also have to work on blending in the hair with the rest of the wig that hasn't been teased, so make sure you do that. If you really want the hair up here high, you can really zhuzh up that teasing and just use lots of hairspray to keep it this big. But in the pictures you guys have been sending me, it looks a little bit more deflated. So I'm just gonna keep brushing it to undo more of that teasing and make it a little bit flatter. If at any time you're having trouble brushing through your hair, a little tip I can give you, it's a little bit of an unconventional product, but this is furniture polish. It's like Lemon Pledge. This is just like the cheap dollar store knockoff. And all you have to do is spray, well, it's not really a good example here because I don't really need it, but just to show you, if you spray it on the wig, it's just gonna make the brush glide through a lot easier. You can use this in your detangling process along with the steamer. Just make sure you don't overdo it. It can cause some buildup in the hair and make it feel sort of oily and greasy, but it's a good way to kind of lubricate the hair to help the brush glide through it easier. All right, so this hair is a nice flatness that I'm happy with now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some hair clips, and I'm just gonna use these to keep the bangs standing up the way that I need them to be. And this is the step to do once you're really happy with how everything looks, because now we're gonna lock it all in with hairspray. And we're just using these to make sure that the bangs are standing up and staying up. So just making sure everything looks nice. All right, and then the final step is just to blast it with a hair dryer and some Got to Be Glued freezing spray or your hairspray of choice. Now that that first pass of hairspray is done, I can slip out the clips just so they don't leave an imprint on the hair. That's why I like these ones. They're a little bit less aggressive than these like alligator clips. I just don't want to leave an imprint on the hair with a hairspray. Alright guys, this is pretty much the finished hairstyle. It was really easy. The hardest part was just straightening the wig, but if your wig is already straight, because that's how you bought it, then styling really takes like not even 15 minutes. So I am gonna just go change into some quick drag now and show you what it looks like on. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Here is the finished look. I think it turned out really pretty. I'm just mad at myself about these ends because last time I wore this wig, I gave her a little haircut and my shitty barber skills are like really hard to disguise. I tried fixing it, like, you know how they do it in salons where they cut the hair like that. I tried doing that, but like, I don't know, just keep your eyes up here. Anyway, I hope you guys liked watching this and that you learned something cool today and that all of you who requested it are happy with this video. Let me know what else you want to see me do on here. But before I go, I want to give a shout out to all of these people for tagging me in their artwork on Instagram. It's always crazy to get a notification from somebody who has followed my tutorials, or if you create your own original work inspired by me. I think it's amazing, so thank you so much. I also wanted to take a minute to thank you guys for all of the love you've been showing me since I've been in the Face Awards, because I really feel it and I really appreciate it. One of my friends told me the other week that he didn't vote in the provincial elections here in Ontario, but he voted for me in the Face Awards. That is the spirit that I want to see, okay? So thank you so much for all of the love and the support, but until I see you guys next time, I hope you're all doing well. Bye!